when did you start baking, and did you know right away, like, oh, this is something I'm passionate about?
Yeah, I think I started like with my mom, you know, growing up, and like she's a phenomenal baker, but she cannot cook. Let me be honest. Love you, Mom. But so I always grew up with like her chocolate chip cookies and all of that stuff. So I was always interested in foods. I was always interested in cooking. And then once I got into high school, I realized that I could kind of make a career out of this. And I thought I wanted to go for like regular culinary, but then I realized I'm a very picky eater, but I love sweets. So I kind of fell in love with the kind of artsy side to pastry, you know, and it really is like a work of art when you think about the textures, the flavor profiles. So that really drew me in, and I fell in love with the pastry side, and it's just been pastries ever since.
So when you decided to go to culinary, or not culinary school, but is it culinary school?
I went to culinary school, but I specialized in the baking and pastry.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does it rock your world to know that when you think you're good at something and then you get into this like intense program,
absolutely,
it's a different ballgame?
They told us like half of you will drop out within the first like 3 months of your classes, and if you think you're going to be on the Food Network, then just leave now. So that was like a very big wake-up call. But literally that first quarter, half of our class left, and they were like, oh, this is not what I thought it would be. It's a very challenging job mentally, physically, you know, but it's definitely, I'm so happy I went to culinary school because there is such a science to it. How ingredients work together, how, you know, different environmental issues can affect your baking. So for me, like the level of quality that I want to produce and to like achieve that quality, you know, and that just takes time and experience. And that was, I think, challenging, and just that precision and perfection and the inner OCD in me, you know, I struggle with for the past 15 years of doing this. But
so how do you combat the environmental issues and that kind of thing? I mean, obviously a dough is going to be a different texture depending on the humidity and that kind of thing.
And like, I think we just go into it knowing like today's going to be a slow proof day because it's freezing outside, or like these macaroons are going to take a long time to dry because it's raining, you know? So some days just, you know, kind of depend on that, and like they really are a mind of their own. And so there's little tricks and tips we can do, but kind of we're at the mercy of the environment we're into.
Okay, you say we, so you have a whole team here.
I have the most amazing team ever. I love them so much.
That's so great.
I say they make me look good, but like really it's them that are like just doing amazing work. So
was it hard to acquire a team and to, especially because admittedly you're a little OCD. So how do you find the people that are going to care as much about the end product as you do?
Well, I think we were like a really interesting niche here in this community that wasn't filled yet. You know, when we first started GK, there was a lot of bakeries, but maybe not everything was made from scratch, and it wasn't that technical, you know, things that we were making. So I think we filled a void that was happening for people that were kind of serious about pastry. So we've been really lucky on having like always really great hiring rates and like interest, which has been huge. But definitely like it took me a long time, admittedly, to be able to kind of let up the reins a little bit and to kind of step back. But you know, I have my pastry chef now, Laura. Shout out to Laura. She's been with me 6 years, and she runs the kitchens now while I'm here and kind of managing the brand, and it's just been great. But it's taken me, you know, quite a bit of time to kind of be like, okay, you got this. But.
Okay, so culinary school at least started out with the science end of it and the real like kind of nuts and bolts. When did it start to feel artistic to you? Because you said that was something that you were drawn to, but I imagine it loses a little that when
that little luster. And it's been kind of hard because I've worked in many restaurants. Like I've worked in Chicago, and it was like high volume. I've also worked in like super fine dining Michelin. And when I was actually at the super fine dining Michelin restaurant, I realized I did not like it. You know, like plating with tweezers and like perfect everything. Like that's just not my style. So I found that my kind of vibe is like elevating the classics, you know, the stuff that I grew up with, but how can we make this better? Is it a flavor profile? Is it a texture? Is it like adding salt to something so there's more of a balance? I love that. Balanced desserts for me is a huge thing.
Hence Pop-Tarts.
Hence Pop-Tarts. Our hand pies. So we do a sugar salt blend on top, so you get that salty, sweet, flaky, like try to think about all the, you know, different things we can get out of a single pastry. Is there something to making it look beautiful too, or are you just more interested in it being
texturally perfect?
I think a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know, we definitely have like our standards of like, this is how it should look.
Yeah.
But then there's also sometimes where it's kind of that artisanal, almost not perfect thing that goes on, which is also kind of great too.
Yeah.
So I think we do a weird flex on both.
Has it always been important to you to bake from scratch?
Yes. So that's kind of our whole branding philosophy is handmade everything.
Yeah.
So we do all of our breads, bagels. If it's in here, we make it in-house. We have ice cream sorbets, froyo. We make all of our coffee syrups in-house for our lattes.
Wow.
We're doing loose leaf tea that we're blending ourselves. So it's been a really great learning experience. It's been great to build relationships with producers and farmers in our community.
Yeah.
So it's been, I think that coming from culinary school was always really important to me, that we're producing something that is truly crafted by us.
Okay, you mentioned that you were in Chicago and you've been kind of all over, but what made you come back to Fort Wayne and then decide to open your own
Well,
place?
I kind of like talked to you earlier. I did not think I was going to be back in Fort Wayne ever. And my mom's surprised I moved back. But for me, it was like, you know, my family's from here. The support system's huge here. And I knew coming back, like, I probably wouldn't have an executive pastry chef job.
Yeah.
And I actually sold health insurance for a while, and I was not good at it. And I was in a meeting, and they were like, "You're a pastry chef. Like, that's what you do to make people happy." And I said, "You know what? You're right." So I worked with my friends. They had a Fine food truck at that time, and we kind of built the brand, just doing breads for them or macaroons or anything. And I never in my wildest dreams thought it would be what it is today.
Yeah.
The support of the community we've received has been like crazy, you know, and just to kind of, this community, I can't say enough good things, you know, and to be a part kind of the revitalization of downtown and also building a hospitality scene here is the biggest reward for me, is like taking things I learned in Chicago or bringing New York or someplace like here in Fort Wayne, so you don't have to drive or travel. You can have those moments here too.
Yes. So I often ask artists who have made a business of creating if the business side takes any of the joy out of the creative side.
Yeah. I'm really lucky in that it doesn't for me, because now, like, you know, I was only me when we first started GK, and I had 2 like kitchen aides I was holding on to, and then we just have grown, and now we have like 20 plus on staff, which is crazy. But I've been able to transition my role a lot. So at first, you know, I was doing all the baking, then, you know, I hired a team, and so it's been fun to kind of evolve my position within the company.
Yeah.
So things that maybe I'm kind of like, oh, I'm kind of tired of doing that, then I can have other, or, you know, grow into something else, which has been great. So it hasn't lost its luster for me.
Okay, so back to being an artist, do you still feel like baking, even though I assume you probably do it a lot less?
Yes.
Does it still feel like a creative outlet?
Oh,
do you
100%. Like if I'm home, like I'm making cookies with the kids, but I do very simple things at home. My kids are like, they're a little bougie from here, but like we're having banana bread, you know, we're having stuff that I grew up with.
Of
but
course.
It definitely is like a safe space for me. It's where I feel the most creative. It's like therapy, you know, when you're in the kitchen, you can kind of zone in and just kind of put everything else out. But yeah, it's a really good outlet too, to be like, I want to design this dish, you know, and what things am I trying to portray in it, or how can I highlight this ingredient better, you know. So that's a really cool creative process there.
Yeah. What is the best part about not just running GK, but creating?
Being an artist?
Yes. What is the best part about being an artist?
I love the fact that I get to be a part of the community. I love the fact that our baked goods bring joy to people, and it can be a bright point in somebody's day, or create tradition for them where you're like, oh, I'm going to the market and I have to get a cinnamon roll, you know. I think that's the most rewarding, and just to be like with the provision sides of things, to be able to be kind of a storefront here for local people, that they can have a storefront downtown 7 days a week. You know, if they're at the farmer's market, their customers can come here as well. So I just love that we're able to support the community, be a welcoming, inclusive space for everybody, and just spread joy, you know.
And it's special. You know, like I could make a cinnamon roll, but it's not going to be special. It's not going to be.
We really wanted to create like a high quality space, but like have it be approachable to everybody. You know, we don't want to be like out of reach. And so I'm glad that, you know, we can do it through baked goods.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have hit the mark. And is there any better way to do it than through baked goods?
I don't think so. I'm just going to eat a pan of cinnamon rolls myself. So I'll just get us a fork and we can share it.
Perfect.